Before we get into this week's episode, I wanted to quickly say that Meg speaks quite openly about her medical history. So, for anyone that is affected by her story, please don't hesitate to reach out. Or if you wish to move past this part of the conversation, please be sure to check the chapter titles in the show notes. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the episode.
Hi, I'm Meg, and I'm an electrician based in Hertfordshire.
Thanks for joining me, Meg. It's brilliant to have you on the show. So, yeah, let's just get straight into learning about you. How did you get into being an electrician? What's your background?
My background, I was working in catering and hospitality since I was about 14 or 15. And then it was actually just by chance that I'd helped my dad start a catering unit in Sawston on a business park. And then one of the customers there, he just opened up his own centre teaching electrics. And I was getting very fed up of hospitality, as you do. And he was like, just come and have a look. And it was really weird because it was one of those things. I walked in, had a look around the centre, and then it just felt right. And I just decided to do it. So it was quite off the cuff. Um, but it was good. I did it as an intensive. So I did my level 2 and 3 in, I think it was like about 7 months.
Oh, wow.
So it was Monday to Friday, 9 till 5. And then I worked in the evenings and weekends outside of that. And then obviously, because I'd done it as an intensive, I didn't have all those years of learning all the nitty gritty, doing all the rubbish stuff on site that you'd get when you do an apprenticeship.
Gotcha.
So I worked for a firm for 2.5, 3 years, I think, just doing house bashing, learning the nitty gritty, and yeah, still doing it now.
Nice. Awesome. So, what sort of age did you get into that then?
I was 21 or 22. I'm
Okay.
31 now, so about 10 years ago now. Feel old.
Oh, don't. I don't even ask. Yeah. You're still young, don't panic.
My joints will tell another story
Oh,
though.
tell me about it. Yeah, that's the key signs, isn't it? The joints when they start aching and the back. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
So, what would you say that you enjoy most about being an electrician?
Oh, do you know what? I think probably most is just doing something practical because I'm not diagnosed, but I'm probably quite sure I'm on some sort of spectrum with ADHD, and
Okay.
I cannot sit still doing things. I tried doing a job before where I was quite stationary, and I just couldn't do it. So it's probably just doing different things, being in different environments a lot of the time. So you might be on one job for a long period of time, but then you're doing different things or you're going to another job in between. So it just keeps it interesting and keeps me fit and healthy doing a lot of moving around as well.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And what's been the types of jobs that you've done most of? What kind of buildings, properties do you work on the most?
So I've only recently, about 2 months ago, gone fully self-employed,
Oh, nice.
because I was working for a company that was doing social housing and things like that, so
Okay.
I've seen it all. Um, but yeah, so that was a lot ventilation, basic things, a bit of solar and all of that kind of stuff, and now, um, mostly renovation work. I'm unsure of where I wanna sort of niche into at the moment. Um,
Okay.
Strangely enough, quite enjoy working out the puzzle that is doing all the heating, wiring, and stuff like that. Because generally no one likes to touch that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when the two kind of combine, heating and electrical, it can scare some people, can't it? Because you don't know where the line is, where you're meant to stop or have the knowledge of the overlap, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and I really found this recently on a job I've got going on. It was, a big underfloor heating system. I think it's 5 manifolds, and then they've got a separate immersion, which has a solar diverter, and
Whoa.
then they've got the boiler as well. Then they've got towel rails on a different circuit. And when I first looked at it, I was like, so I did my own wiring diagram combining all of them. And then I actually looked into what each component's doing within it, because then if I know what it's supposed to be doing, I know where I need to put it in the sense of wiring.
Ah.
'Cause I said to
Yeah.
the plumber, I was like, "I have no idea what any of this is otherwise."
Goodness, you couldn't have picked a more complicated job.
I know. I like a problem solve.
Nice, nice. That's good. You say you've just gone into self-employment. How are you finding your feet with that? What would you say is the most difficult part of it, shall we say?
See, I mean, so I went self-employed while I was full-time employed and,
Yep,
sunk myself in work, but in my head, I was like, "I'll get my foot in the door and then do it." So, I was really lucky to, have a bit of a unicorn job as, like, my first sort of big job, um, and, I've been really fortunate that I've not had much issue in chasing clients for money and payments and things like that, because I know generally that is it. And I think I've not been in it long enough yet to feel the struggle that you sort of feel when you're struggling for work or putting yourself out there. So I think it's all quite new at the moment, but I know that will definitely be a cross to bear at points
yeah.
doing it. But
Oh, that's good that you've started off with a nice group of customers to start with that have treated you well, and vice versa. Obviously, comes hand in hand. You treat your customers well, you're
yeah,
honest, then hopefully they reciprocate. So, yeah, hopefully that
yeah,
keeps going for
100%.
you.
Thanks. I find a lot from either working in trades or working alongside them or hearing from other clients that there's so much of it in all of the industries where people just don't turn up when they've committed to be there, or they don't do it properly, they don't want to come back and fix it, or they're trying to dupe people out of money. And I think when people get a sense that you are just honest, I think that does go a long way, because yeah, I couldn't deal with the
Absolutely.
stress of having to lie and be dishonest all the time.
I know, it's like, why would you 1, why would you do that anyway? 2, like you've just said, you've gotta remember what you said if you're the liar and play along,
Yeah,
and no, just don't do it. Don't do it.
just like
Yeah,
everyone makes mistakes. It happens. You've got insurance there for that. Or as
yeah,
long as most people, if you say, look, this has happened, I've made a mistake, I'll come fix it, no charge,
yeah,
they're normally fine about it. But
absolutely,
no one likes to
absolutely.
do that.
We are only human, we make mistakes,
Exactly.
you see? It's just owning them and being honest because it unfortunately, these people that don't stay true to themselves and be honest, kind of they set a bad rap for the rest of the trades really, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do, definitely. And it sort of like leaves people a bit scorned by it, and they're really scared to trust a lot of tradespeople, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel that sometimes, well, I've actually had customers say to me they've had these horror stories, etc., and that's why they were looking for a female tradesperson because in their
Yeah.
mind they felt that a female would be the opposite. They would be trustworthy. They'd stick to their word. They'd turn up on time. They'd be tidy. I mean, yes, most of us are those positive things, but again, we are all human and we all have our own downfalls at times. So, but it is
Yeah.
nice to think that customers out there, people out there have that opinion of female tradies.
Yeah, because I think when I first was getting into the industry, so obviously I've spent all this money and all this time qualifying, and then when it came to getting a job, I sort of shot myself in the foot because I had all the qualifications, but not the real life experience to go with it. So people couldn't take me on as an apprentice because I already had the qualifications, but my practical skill set as such wasn't advanced enough to just send me to a job by myself because I was still sort of learning. But I struggled with trying to find work in it, and also a lot of people were like, probably the older blokes are a bit like, "No, you can't have a woman on site as a distraction." It's changed so much in a short amount of time, really, and I think there's so many more like female tradespeople as well, which is nice. They all seem to be up north though. There's not that many down in Hertfordshire that I know of. We need some more down here.
Put your hands up, ladies, if you're down Meg's way. She wants
Yeah,
to get to know
give me a
you.
shout.
That's it. That's it. Brilliant. You've obviously just touched on there about some difficulties of fellas taking you seriously and taking you on site, so to speak. Have you faced any other difficulties being a female electrician slash tradie?
Do you know what? I've been really lucky I haven't. I mean, years ago, the sites I used to work on with, obviously, you get to know everyone that you work with regularly when it's the same builder you work with and all of that kind of stuff. But if anything, I mean, people's perception of a building site is men might wolf whistle you or be a bit crude when you're walking past or something. But when you're on site, it's not actually like that. Like they're not intending things like that, probably bantering with each other. But I actually got met with nothing but respect because they were just kind of like fair play. I mean,
Nice.
I remember my first day on site, they actually cleaned the portaloo for me because they were like, "You can't use that." And I was like,
Wow.
"Thank you."
Yes.
I was
Winner.
like, "But you're the ones that have made it like that." So,
Well, this is true. Yes. Brilliant.
but no, I've been quite lucky. I think everyone's and I just get treated like one of the blokes on site as well. Like, they'll still give me a nickname or like a bit of banter and have a laugh, and I'm not easily offended. And I think to work on site, you've got to be able to take a joke and see the funny things and stuff. I've not worked with anyone that is generally rude or it says like, "Oh, you can actually do your job. You know what you're doing."
Ah. Yeah, that's good then, definitely. I think, like you say, from what I've learned from all the other women that I've spoke to, because I haven't done much site work at all myself, um, you've got to have a thick skin and be able to just take a joke and give it back. Because I think when you can
Yeah.
give it back, that's where it builds the bit of, hopefully, builds the bit of respect that, oh, she's one of the lads, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly that. Because I think people at first, like the old company I used to work for, I was probably more crude than a lot of the blokes because I am just quite immature like that. But they'd be like, "Oh, you can't say that. There's a lady present." And then one of my close colleagues would be like, "She's not a lady. Don't worry. You can be blunt."
Brilliant.
No, I think it's quite important for them to. I think a lot of people's perception is like, "Oh, there's a girl on site, yeah," or like, but it's just like having another bloke. I mean, if I had different things down there, they'd be no different.
Well, this is it. This is it. You're all there to do the same job. It shouldn't matter what you look like, sound like,
Yeah,
etc., should it?
exactly.
Yeah. And well, it sounds like you've come across a really nice group of fellas. So yeah, you're lucky, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've
Yeah.
I've heard some people have not obviously been as fortunate, and I think perhaps if you're working in London or the big cities on the really big commercial sites, there's a lot of agency staff there and things like that. You might be met with a bit of a different attitude because everyone doesn't know each other. They're probably stuck in a clique almost.
Yeah. Good
Um,
point.
but I feel like the smaller jobs, it's more like a little community.
Nice. I love that. What does a typical work week look like for you at the moment? What are you working on?
At the moment, do you know what? I've had a week this week of just tying up my loose ends of my small jobs because there's the big job I was talking about. They moved in about 3 weeks ago, so it's just going back here and there to finish off all the outside stuff now.
Okay.
Lots of making off SWA and fun like that. I've done fuse board change, had to cut out the wall because they'd built a really tiny cupboard around the fuse boards covering the screws to remove the covers. They had a new aircon unit needing to be fitted, but the fuse board was too old. So I've just cut out a panel, put a bigger one in, added some lighting and things, done some accessory upgrades in a property. So just bits here and there like that really this week. But prior to that, I'd mostly been on this big job, just getting everything done and to a point because yeah, really interesting house.
It sounds it, yeah. You mentioned solar, and obviously underfloor heating has been around a little bit more than, well, I think a little bit longer than solar. How is it working with those kind of components?
Yeah, so I'm not MCS accredited. So they started MCS because basically, obviously, solar panels go on a roof. A lot of roofers were going and installing solar panel systems with no qualifications on the battery or the electric. So a lot of people just had these really unsafe solar panel systems on their houses. So they started MCS.
What is MCS?
It's the governing body for solar installs,
Okay,
basically, like you'd have Alexa on the NIC and things like that.
gotcha,
And you essentially have a portal. You upload pictures at specific times of what you've done and where you've put it to make sure you've done it all safely, really.
gotcha.
But I just used to do it covered by my old company. So I've done small parts of it, but I haven't got the qualifications yet to sign off myself. But it's something I want to do because obviously it's getting bigger and bigger, and it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Absolutely. The renewable energies sector is huge, isn't it? Like the EV charging and the heat
Yeah.
pumps and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely. That'd be a good
There's
one to
such a
get.
misconception with heat pumps though, because everyone thinks, oh, they're green, they're like energy efficient. They're green on emissions because they're not using gas like a boiler, but they're so juicy on electricity.
Are they?
Yeah, they're so juicy on electricity to run. If you've got a heat pump, and because they're on all the time, the way they work, they don't suddenly kick in. They've got a big compressor, so they've got more of a startup current.
Okay.
But they're really juicy because when people say to me they want to get one installed, I always say to them, I wouldn't really bother having one unless you've got solar panels as well, because it
Oh,
combats the cost.
yeah.
They
Wow.
generally were made for when you've got you want a wet heating system and you're in the middle of nowhere and there is no gas.
Okay.
Then it's kind of a need, but they're quite good for heating a pool.
Ah, there we go. So if you've got swimming pool and you've got solar panels, get yourself a heat
Get the
pump.
heat pump.
You heard it here first. Brilliant. I would like to just delve into getting to know you a little bit more on a personal level. Obviously, we've had a bit of a pre-chat, and I've seen your social media profiles, and I understand a couple of years ago, or quite a while ago now, you went through some life-changing health events. Do you mind telling us how that even started?
Yeah, well, do you know what? I think everyone could probably agree that everything within the NHS got a bit lax during COVID. It was hard to, get addressed properly and things. But I basically went in January 2021, I think it was, routine gynae procedure. I was awake, just had gas and air. They were supposed to use a scope, like the camera, when they did it, but didn't. Um, he basically advanced his equipment too far, ruptured through my cervix and my uterus, and then macerated my bowels essentially. And I was awake, so I felt them do all of that. And I just remember burning up, and I was like, why is it so hot? Why am I in so much pain? And people are coming in and cannulating me and things. And then they took me for keyhole surgery to check my bowels for damage and suture where they'd burst through. So I get discharged the next day, a bit out of it, didn't really know what had gone on. They were just like, here's codeine, here's antibiotics, off you go. Didn't know where I was in hospital because I was in a different part where they'd had space.
Okay.
Made my way out, and obviously with I don't know if you've ever had keyhole, but when you get pumped full of the gas, it settles in the tips of your shoulders and you're in a lot
Does
of
it?
pain. So yeah, because the gas has to dissipate somewhere, and obviously it will sort of rise, and you can get like
Yeah.
shooting like nerve pains. So I was
Okay.
expecting to be in pain, didn't think much of it, but I couldn't even keep water down. It it turned out, I was throwing up like coffee grounds and the other end, and obviously a sign of internal bleeding. Um, I went back to the doctors. They were reluctant to see me because they were like, "Oh, you sure it's not COVID?" And I was thinking, "No, it's not. It's not." Eventually, they saw me and they'd given me tramadol instead of codeine for the pain. So when I'd gone home, I was really out of it. I couldn't really take myself to hospital or anything. But they'd said, if it gets worse, go to A&E within 24 hours. We can't help you. But I didn't remember they said that, and I was just too
Oh,
much pain, too out of it. So it's probably about 2, 3 days after that that I went back to A&E, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, you seem fine, like, your bowels can't be leaking because 'cause you'd be in more pain." I'm like, "Well, it's COVID, I can't have anyone push me around in a wheelchair, so I've got no choice."
yeah.
But it turned out, that my bowels were leaking because 'cause they'd torn my large bowel where it would sit on top of your uterus, basically, and then macerated my small bowel. And where
Goodness
they'd
me.
been leaking, um, my bowel had started to rot and die essentially, and it went necrotic, and my surgeon said to me it was all stuck in a clump.
Oh my
Um,
god.
so I had a 8.5, 9-hour emergency surgery, and I had no idea what any of this meant. Like, I signed a piece of paper to say that they might need to give me a stoma. No idea what a stoma was. And they said we'll try do it keyhole, but you're so swollen that we might have to do open surgery. And they said it'll be about a 15 centimeter opening. It's not. It's literally tit to clit.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, and I woke up in ICU with my intestines sticking out in a bag and stapled top to bottom. Um, and it all just happened so fast, and I didn't. No one really told me what happened or why. Though it was quite bad because it was only 3 months after I came out of hospital that my surgeon actually told me what happened in the surgery and all of this. And it it wasn't until I think I've been in hospital for about 2 or 3 weeks, and one of the surgical residents came to me and said, like, "I just wanted to come and check in with you. Like, you probably won't recognise me because you're quite out of it when I last saw you, but you've been through a lot, and you're really lucky to even still be alive." And I was like,
What?
"What?" It's like no one said anything to me about sepsis. No one said anything to me about nearly dying. But it turned out I'd had two blood transfusions because I think by the midpoint of the surgery, I'd lost 3 litres of blood,
Wow.
which obviously you generally have about five, I think,
Yeah.
normally. So yeah, it was sort of really like hit home because I was like, I had no idea. I mean, you don't really think that anything's ever going to be that serious.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I because it was all stuck and I'd been open on the table for so long, they just had to cut that lump out. So now I've got short bowel syndrome,
Okay.
because I've only got 1.4 meters of small bowel instead of 3 meters.
Okay.
So that
Wow.
just affects nutrient absorption, energy, hydration, and things like that. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, no, I'm good now. There's things I have to deal with for the rest of my life, but I'm very much like, if I sit and wallow in something, it's not gonna hurt them that did it because they don't care. It's not gonna help me. It's just gonna hurt me. So I choose to just get on with things and just do what I can.
Well, that is an unfathomable situation that you lived through, and I I want I yeah, I feel a bit emotional for you for about that. Yeah. At such a young age as well. I
Yeah,
yeah.
it was a whirlwind, and do you know what? When I was going through it, I suddenly realised that so many people don't have a clue about ostomy bags or what that entails or why you might have them. People's conception was that you're old or you've had bowel cancer if you've got a stoma bag. And I've really found a lot of comfort in loads of other people in the community. Most people had IBD, and Crohn's and colitis and things like that that had stomas. But it was just nice to connect with other people in a similar boat because you, as you can imagine, it's no one else really knows what it's like until you've got one because it's
Yeah.
very strange. Like you also get, like, phantom feelings that you need to go to the toilet, but you can't
Okay.
because nothing's connected. It's just coming
Okay.
out in your bag. So there's so many strange things about it, but I can say this now looking back with hindsight, and if you'd have told me this or said this to me when I was in the midst of it, I'd have told you to F off. But I do think I'm a better person for going through all of that because it's made me more mentally and physically strong and just a bit more resilient, I think, to life in general. So I
Wow.
think now I'm looking back, I'm not glad it happened, but I'm okay with it. But it's definitely something you can look back to with hindsight rather than when you're going through something.
Definitely. Yeah. It's like you say, I commend you for looking at it as something I've gone through it. I need to just process it and I need to then move forward because, like you've said, sticking in a negative not woe is me because that sounds a bit harsh because it was a massive thing, but sticking in that sad mindset, it only hurts you, like you've said, isn't it? But
Yeah,
again, I think you still need to give yourself time to process such a big thing, but have that strength within to realize, right, I need to grab life by the horns, so to speak, now and do power through and just live my life because we only get one, don't we? So,
yeah, exactly. I think as well when I mean, I'd spent a lot of my life not being a particularly happy person, and I think when I
oh,
actually got faced with like all of this and the fact that I nearly died, it kind of then made me have like a bit more respect for life, and that regardless of how things are different, or you might not have be able to do the same things as everyone else, you still have a life. It still warrants giving it effort.
Yeah.
I think that changed my outlook on things,
Okay.
like in a good way.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, it's something that I've obviously haven't gone through and find it hard to comprehend your strength, but you come across as a very strong woman who can power through, and I think it's to me you come across like you've found your way. I mean, we don't really
Yeah.
know each other, but I have a sense from you. You know, you seem a very calm, and you just ooze happiness to me. I don't know why.
That's fantastic.
You've got energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I definitely say that. I think, people say sometimes, "Oh, you've got to hit rock bottom before you're okay," sort of thing. And I think just when you go through anything, it does just any kind of trauma does just change you. But I think,
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely has helped me find my way and find myself as well. So no,
Amazing.
turned out good in the end.
Amazing. Well, I'm glad to know that you are doing well and are healthy and have found a way to manage what you've gone through, and moving forward with life now. So that's yeah.
Thank you.
So the other thing that on a happier tone, shall we say, of your life, talk to me about live to lift and powerlifting. This is yes. I want to know more.
So it's something I fell into because basically when I put it on social media about everything that had happened, um, a friend of mine, Nick, reached out to me and said he's a coach and a PT. And he reached out to me at the time and said, "Look, when you're well enough, I'll coach you. Just come in, we'll get you back to where you were." I'm really grateful that he did because, as you can imagine, at that point, I'm like, I look awful. I don't feel confident enough in what I'm doing and things like that. So I was really grateful that he'd reached out because as soon as I got the all clear after I'd had my stoma reversed, I was in the gym, and I think there was actually a video of I was literally just squatting the bar for 5 reps, which is 20 kg,
Yep.
and he was spotting me. Didn't need to because he could just pick it off my back. I remember how difficult it was. Like doing 5 reps just felt immensely hard. Um, and I just kept going back a couple of times a week, and he wouldn't let me pay him, so I'd just bring him lunch as a thank you while I was doing it. Um, and then he was like, "I really think as a like a full circle thing to your journey, you should compete in something."
Ooh.
Whether it be like bodybuilding or powerlifting. And I was thinking, "Oh, I can't get up on stage in front of loads of people and pose. Like, I'd be too nervous for that. I'd just end up in hysterics and laughter." And I actually said to him, I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do powerlifting because I hadn't even pulled 100 kg at this point." And I was like, "I don't want to do it and then just be a bit crap. Like, if I do it, I want to do it and be all right at it." Um, and it turns squat and bench aren't my main lifts, but deadlift. I've got no torso, and I've got long arms, so it works out quite well.
Nice.
We just kept adding. I think I was deadlifting maybe twice a week, and we just kept adding 2.5 kg every time, and then it just kept going up. And progressive overload works.
Yes.
Uh, and then I remember we booked my first competition, which actually got cancelled, and then they did another one. I was just going to do a deadlift only one.
Okay.
And then it's like, why don't we just book on and do a full? I don't know if you've watched much powerlifting, but when you bench, it's got the collars on the side, which weigh 2.5 kg, I think, each.
Oh.
So when I went up there and I literally opened your 3 lifts and I opened it at, I think, 35 kg. Literally, it's the bar and these tiny plates like this. And it just looks so
Oh,
hilarious
bless you.
to walk up and go do it. But did that and then did the squats as well. And then when it came to deadlifts, I pulled 140 kg, and I think at the time I was 50 kg. Uh,
Whoa.
and I was I, I was surprised I did it, but the you have someone that tells you when to put the bar down essentially, and when they're satisfied that you've got the lift. And
Okay.
she stood there with her arm up for ages, and she was like, "Oh," put her arm down. She was like, "I'm so sorry. I was just astounded that you're so small and you did that."
Oh, bless her.
But we went to, a gym in Rhyl, very long drive, lots of traffic, went on a road trip, did the competition, it was really good. It was a nice, that was my first competition, so it was a nice sort of thing, and that sort of gave me the taste for powerlifting because if you go to a competition, I don't know anyone that's been and hasn't thought, "Yeah, I wanna do this," because no matter if you're lifting against someone else in a weight class or anything like that, everyone's cheering for you. When it comes to deadlifts, everyone's screaming at you to lock it out and get it and keep trying and keep pulling. So it's a really like fun environment to be in. Um, and I'm quite fortunate in a sense that I've got uh, two world championships I've won,
Wow.
and then British and European as well. But I
Goodness
do
me.
sometimes feel like I've cheated it because not a lot of I'm in the under 48 kg weight class.
Okay.
So not as many people do compete in my weight class, so I have less competition in a sense, but it bodes well for me.
It's all competition. As long as there's at least one person, it doesn't matter, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. The last two world championships I've done, and the last one I went to Chicago for, it's the same girl I'd been against, and we had a she was better on bench than me, similar on squats, and then she was like, "Another year of you absolutely thrashing me on deadlifts."
Oh, bless you. Well, you've got to have 1 out of 3. Come on.
I know, I know. I'm a one trick pony, really.
Amazing. So you lifted, what is that, 3 times your body weight?
Yes, so generally when I've been at either 50 kg, 52 kg, or 48 kg, I've lifted 3 times body weight, which is quite good. I did nearly get 160 kg at a single lifts competition. And when
Wow.
I the owner of the federation was like, "You pussy, you could have had that. You put that down." And then I looked back at the video, literally, I'd got it out. All I had to do was bring my hips through and sort of at that point, I just remember in my head, I was like, "I feel like I'm pissing myself," which is fine. Everyone does when they deadlift. It happens to women. But I was like, "I think I might shit myself." And then
Oh,
I was
no.
like, "I'm just gonna put it down."
Oh, no. Oh, what a
And then I
thing.
looked on the I know, and then I looked at the video and I was like, "Oh, I should have just done it." No one would have cared.
Bless you. Damn.
I think everyone's just I mean, at powerlifting competitions, they've got a bit of sawdust or whatever, they've got a mat they'll just roll up because so many women do pee on the platform. It just
Okay.
happens. It's your anatomy. When you've got
Yes.
a belt on, it's just
Put all
gonna
the
happen.
downforce.
Yeah. The downforce and the straining.
That's it. Yeah.
It's quite fun. Everyone's just hardened to it now, I think.
That's good to know. That's good to know. I'm kind of a little bit at the beginning of my weightlifting journey. So I'm like nowhere near where you are. I think last week I lifted 57.5 kg and I'm 5'11". So I'm quite tall and long, but yeah, I'm kind of working through knee, hip, and lower back
Yeah.
weakness. So yeah, when I saw your Instagram, I was like, "What? She's incredible! I need to keep going, keep adding." Love it.
You will get there, and I think, like, definitely, like, your accessories that you do play a massive part in it, because if you've got a weaker side, like, I've sort of fallen out of powerlifting while I've sort of been investing in the sort of self-employed life,
Yeah.
um, but he'd always he was really good at watching how someone's lifting and sort of seeing the weak point and then saying, "Okay, do this exercise, keep doing that for a block of
Ah.
5 or 6 weeks, and then you strengthen that." But it's always when you strengthen one muscle, another one starts to lack. So you're always chasing the circle of what you need to bring up. But once you do it, it you you find the way that's best to do a certain lift for you as well, depending on your body type. Because I've got no torso but really long femurs. So if I squat, I
Ah.
really lean forward. Whereas
Okay.
if you've got a longer torso, you're quite upright when you're doing it. So there's no wrong or right way as such. It's just everyone's got different mechanics, isn't it? But if you stick at it and just strengthen all those parts, you'll definitely lift lots.
I'm definitely enjoying the process for sure. I think I'm 8 weeks in now, I think, and, yeah, I already can feel a difference. I'm definitely a lot stronger than I was when I started. I mean, I'm I'm 38 now, and where I was before I had started lifting weights, you would have thought I was like a 70-year-old. I felt like I was falling apart. Honestly, I was so weak. Like, to look at me, you'd think I was strong, but no. So, yeah, sticking at it, even for just a short period of like 8 weeks, yeah, I love it.
It's
It's
quite
brilliant.
it's quite addictive feeling as well because, like,
Mm,
essentially, you're your own competition in it, and you think, "Oh, I've done better than that," or you do something, and once something starts to feel easy, you're like, "Okay, it's easy now. I can move up," and then you're proud of yourself, and I think it's everyone that sort of gets into fitness and in the gym, you generally just feel really good for it.
definitely. And I don't think it matters when you go. I choose to go after work on an evening just because I can't get my head round going to the gym and putting in 100% effort and then going to work. I can't
Yeah.
get my head around how that would work for me. So I would rather put my effort, like do work and then go in the evening and just give everything I've got left in the tank. So yeah,
Yeah.
but you'd always leave feeling better.
Yeah, and do you know what? Especially the days when you think, "I can't be bothered, I had a stressful day," you go and do it, and things might seem a bit difficult, or you might, depending on what point you are in your cycle, you might feel like you wanna have a cry when something doesn't go to plan or a stress cry, but you do always feel better after you've gone and done it. But
Absolutely.
they do say as well, even for, like, elderly people, the ones that are really sedentary have so many more problems than the ones that have been quite active and keep moving because it just pushes everything around your body to help processes and stuff. So it's nothing but a good
Absolutely.
thing.
Absolutely. I mean, the the main reason I got into it, at this particular place I go to is because my dad and my stepmom both go, and they're in their 60s, and
Put you
they
to
love
shame.
it. They love it. So I was like, "Well, I've got to get a piece of this," you know? So it's like a family gym now.
Well, that's nice. That's cute.
Definitely. Yeah, it's brilliant. I love it. I also saw something on your Instagram, that you did for your 30th birthday last year. Please tell us what you spent the day doing for your 30th birthday. This is brilliant.
So it was actually Nick that got it for me as a present for my 30th birthday because I'm a massive animal lover. Like, it could be really ugly, but the uglier the cuter. Like, I just want to hug it or be its friend. And I just had this obsession with cows, and they always look so cute and friendly, although they're massive. And I've always wanted to hug a cow. It was a Hemza eco farm. It's only about an hour from me. And basically, you go and spend the day with these rescued, retired dairy cows, and you, stroke them, brush them, feed them, milk them, which was a very strange experience, but interesting. And I remember we got there, had our wellies on, went in there, and when you're so close to one, they're so much bigger than you realise. Like, they were huge. They were laid there like, when a dog just lays out with its feet sticking out a little bit. But
Yeah.
they were like, probably 5 times as wide as me, just spilled out there, and they just let you hug them, and, like, they
Oh,
make, like, these, like, the grunting noises at you when they like it, when you're, like, scratching their chin and stuff, like, it was really cute.
oh.
I definitely lived my dream, but so many people have got one of the cows as the background of my phone, they're like, "Why do you have a cow in the background?" I was like, "I actually hugged that cow. I know her."
I know that cow. Excuse me.
It was really weird milking them though, because they give you this fat or grease, it's like animal fat. You massage the udders to stimulate. It's kind of like when you breastfeed the baby stimulates milk, but you
Right.
massage their udders. And I thought they had like more than four teats, but they only have four teats. Learned something. And then they're a lot firmer than I thought. I thought they were going to be really soft and like squishy, but they are really firm, and you have to sort of, like, grab it like this and then pull, and then it comes out, and I managed at some point to I was trying to they're like, "Oh, you can do it, like, all 4 udders at one time." And I had,
What?
like, like, basically a nipple through this finger and this one, and I had them just in my hand, and I was just pushing. I was like, "The milk's just coming out." And he was like, "You can move them, it's fine." So I'm gonna squirt milk everywhere.
Oh,
But it was
brilliant.
quite funny. It was like, gold top because it's obviously unpasteurised, but it
Yeah.
literally was like double cream coming out.
Wow.
It was
Goodness me.
yeah, they give you some to take home as well, and it's like gold top milk, like just
Whoa.
raw milk, but I suppose you're so used to either like semi-skimmed or skimmed milk you get in the supermarket, which is like water.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
Like
it was an
see-through.
interesting experience, yeah.
Amazing. Wow. Well, I think you trump everyone for ideas on 30th birthday. I can't even remember what I did. I probably just went out on the town or something.
Well, do you know what it was as well? Because where I've, so if you drink alcohol and things like that, you absorb it in your small bowel. And because I don't have enough of it and I don't have the valve between the two, if I drink loads of liquid close together, it just comes straight through and it just goes
Okay.
straight to pee basically. So I can't really drink unless I drink a ridiculous amount in a short space of time. So eating out and drinking is not really something I can do that freely. So
Okay.
doing things like that was quite nice because it's just something I enjoyed. I could do it. Didn't cause me any harm, just joy.
Absolutely. And you've got memories. It's all about making memories,
Exactly.
isn't it?
Do you
Incredible.
know, so many people have said to me, they're like, "Do you know what? Actually, I'd like to hug a cow because apparently, if you Google it, cows are meant to be like really grounding to be around.
Yes.
Apparently,
I've
and
heard
there's
that.
yeah, because like, obviously they know when. Apparently, if you've got a leak on an electric fence where you've got cows, they won't go to that patch of ground where there's a voltage leak or something like that because they'll sense it. So I think they're quite in tune with just things. And I've seen more things pop up everywhere where people are doing like cow hugging and stuff. And like, people are catching on now.
There you go. You've started a trend.
I definitely
Brilliant.
recommend it.
I'm gonna have a look now after this. I'm gonna
Do
see
it.
if there's any local cow hugging farms. I am. I'm gonna do it.
It is quite fun.
Amazing. Amazing. So I like to just ask about social media and its impact, positive, negative, etc., on your business. Obviously, you're just fresh within your self-employment, but do you or can you see yourself using social media to promote yourself, or would it be mainly to connect with other trades? How do you think social media would be part of your
I
scope?
think, I mean, obviously at the moment, because I decided just to use my personal account, and just change that to my electrical account rather than try and re-add everyone again and things like that just made sense. I'm in the process of doing that still, but a bit of both really. I think it's always nice to connect with other people in the trades, get tips off other people because no one knows everything.
No.
And someone's always sort of an easier way of doing something or a way to get around a problem. So a bit of that, and also promoting myself. And I'd also quite like to go down the avenue of just like because I get so many women say to me that aren't in a trade, they're like, "I wish I could do that. I wish I could do this. Or I wish I knew how to put a shelf up," or things like that. Just things that if you work in a trade, probably are just your second nature sort of knowledge. But so many women would love to be able to do that for themselves and feel a bit more capable. So I think I'd like to also go down the avenue of doing a bit of content just on little things like that, or things that don't necessarily require you to have a qualification. But say you've wheeled over a plug top on something, like you can change the plug. Because if you had to call out an electrician to come and change just a plug top, which costs like 2 quid, it's a lot of money just for something simple. But yeah, I'd like to do that because I think if anything, most of the comments I get about being a female in the trade are actually from other women. So I've turned up to people's houses before to install a big ventilation unit in the loft, and they're like, "Oh, we're not having the install done today." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing it." And they're like, "Is a man coming to help you?" And there's almost like this
Really?
disbelief that because they couldn't fathom doing that themselves, that
Okay.
women can't do it. And I've actually had more comments. I'm speaking to I think, was it Charlotte Electric? I think it might, or it might have been Beth, about this. And she was saying
Okay.
she gets more comments from women that are in the
Really?
trade as well. Yeah, just sort of, and it's not necessarily that they're doubting you, but I think they kind of possibly doubt that they could be capable of doing that if they tried. And then they're like, oh,
Ah.
it seems like a foreign thing. So yeah, I'd like to just help more people realise that anyone can do it if you want to do it.
Yeah.
You
I like
can
that
you can
idea. Definitely. I think you're onto a winner there for sure. Definitely put that forward on your social media because yeah, just small things like changing a switch, a light switch or a plug socket or a plug, like you say. I know I've had a go at changing light fittings out once or twice, and when I've took the old one down and saw that there's like 9
lots of
wires
cables.
instead of 3. I'm like, "Yep, that's going back up."
Do you know what? That's the most common thing I'll get called out to, or like someone thinks, "Oh, I'll have a go." And I remember years ago when I've not long qualified, but someone I used to work with at the pub, he changed the light fitting, and basically, if you get old colour wiring, but generally get it where one of the neutrals should be sleeved as a live because it's actually the switch live, it's not a neutral. But
Ah.
before I'd got there, he hadn't taken a picture of what it looked like before. But he had this light with loads of separate little LEDs, and he'd basically separated every black and every red cable, but every blue on this light fitting with a black separately, and then done the same with the reds. Then there were so many cables at this light that it stopped his downstairs lights from working, it stopped the doorbell from working.
Oh
Like
my
it
goodness.
So I had to just bell everything out, and I was like, "Right, it would have taken me 5 minutes to change this if you'd just got me to come and change the light thing." And it took me hours because back and forth turning the thing on and off to, like, check things, check everything worked, got it working, one thing wasn't working, and, yeah, it's always like people get their switch wires when it's two-way lighting as well, or intermediate, they get it confused. But that's the most common thing people get, a bit messed up with light fittings.
I can definitely understand that for sure because it when I did that particular light fitting, I did take it off, and then it was some troubleshooting to get it to work again afterwards, and it was the main hallway light, so it had to work before my partner came home at the time. I was like, "I've gotta get it back on." But
Well, tell
yeah,
me off for fiddling with things.
that's it, that's it. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. So, are there any other big competitions or big events coming up for you in anything, weightlifting work? Any big moves from Meg?
Any big moves? Well, it's not really a big move, but there's just qualifications that I wanna get booked in. Next week's my sortie outy week of getting more things booked in,
Cool.
because I've been a bit apprehensive about, advertisement and things like that, because I don't necessarily know what direction I'm wanting to necessarily go in.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna have a little plan and see where I wanna take things essentially. But I was supposed to compete in South Africa in November, but I've kind of left it too late to start training for that because when I was working full-time employed and self-employed, my expenditure was really high and I lost a lot of weight just because of my bowels and condition. And I was like, "Oh, I don't want to add to my expenditure and keep training," so I didn't. And then I've kind of fallen out of the swing of training. So I need to get back into it. But to train for a competition, I've probably left it too late, and I don't think I'd pull any
Oh,
impressive deadlifts right now.
damn.
I know, but powerlifting's great. Though. It is one of those things you can come back to it. I mean, there's people in the sport that they were booked in for a competition, they've gone and had a baby, then they've had their baby, got back into it. Because I mean, in Team Live to Lift, we had people of all shapes and sizes, mums, you name it, and it's a sport that anyone can do. People
Awesome.
always think you have to be ridiculously strong to do it, but you don't. Like
No,
you can just there's novice competitions. You just do it because you enjoy it, really.
amazing. That's great to know. Hopefully, more people will start pushing themselves out their comfort zone and just try it. That's what you've got to do, isn't it? Just try it.
Yeah, I don't think from what I've seen and, like, team members in Team Live to Lift, I've not seen anyone that's ever gone, "No, it's not for me, I don't like it." I think people have watched from the outside and gone, "Oh, that looks quite fun," and they're teetering on the edge. They've come to a competition or given it a go, and then they're like, "Yeah, I wanna do this." They do a qualifier, and then they're like, "Yeah, when can I book my next one in?"
Amazing. I love it.
I think being part of a team's quite good as well because 'cause you've got so many people in the same boat, people you can ask
Yeah,
questions and, like, it makes a nice community as well, so I think that's what draws people to it as well. So quite lucky that Nick would always travel to competitions to handle you and be there on the day, and you don't need to think, you just go lift.
brilliant. Well, we've kind of come towards the end of the podcast now, and I always like to finish with a quick, well, not particularly finish because there's a couple of other questions I want to ask, but I like to do a bit of a quick fire, this or that kind of question round, just to
Go for it.
get to know you a little bit more. So, right, let's go. Um, Driver or passenger?
Driver,
Deadlift or bench press?
deadlift,
No brainer. We already know that one. New builds or renovations?
renovation,
A tea or a coffee?
coffee.
A beach holiday or a city escape?
I'd say beach holiday,
A first fix or a second fix?
first fix.
First fix.
I actually find second fix really tedious sometimes.
Too easy.
It's always a lot on my knees putting sockets on and things like that as
Oh,
well.
yeah. It is, yeah. A starter or dessert?
Dessert.
Oh, sweet tooth.
I do bake a lot. I feed everyone up and fatten everyone up.
Brilliant. And morning session or evening session at the gym?
Evening session.
Yes. Brilliant. So, to end the show, there's 3 questions that I like to finish on, and first one is, if you could be another trade, what would you choose and why?
If I could be another trade and I had the patience for this trade, I would be a carpenter because watching just watching like the accuracy involved and the things you can build, like you can build anything really. You could build a house out of it and on site they had a Murphy door built and the chippy on site built that and it's just yeah, I'm envious of their skills they have because it's definitely a skill.
I'm the same. I think I would choose a carpenter for sure. There's, like you say, something about the precision and how it all just fits together when you get it right. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
when they do like their mitre saw like cuts and it just you wouldn't even see a cut. It's chef's kiss.
Sure is. Sure is. And what trade do you think, or even who do you think I should have on the show next? Putting you on the spot.
Oh, what trade? Do you know who I think? She is a carpenter training kitchen fitter, but is Victoria. I think her handle was VP Apprentice, but now she's changed
Oh,
it. But
yes.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know
know
her.
the one. Yeah,
Okay.
I think her because I think she's had a really interesting journey with starting her apprenticeship a bit later in life and things like that. But yeah, I think she'd be really good to have on and sort of
I agree.
get her side of it.
Definitely. I have to see if I can get hold of her in her busy schedule. She always looks so busy, doesn't she? Traveling all over the
I know.
place. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, where can people find you, Meg? What's your social media handles and what platforms are you on?
So my social media handle on Instagram is electrical, the only one that was available still. um, and then the same on Facebook as well, but it's still under construction really. They're not finished articles yet. Um, but I don't have a website 'cause I've not really got a need for it. But yeah, I've got my contact details on there, and I'm based in Hertfordshire. So yeah, that's about it in terms of my
Cool.
platforms at the moment. I want to start probably putting a bit more on TikTok because that's quite good for just getting out there as well. But I am a technophobe and I'm terrible with technology.
Just do what you
Give
can
me
do. This is the thing, you've gotta be able to manage what you've got. So,
yeah.
yeah, stick to what is easier to you, and, then once that works, you know, if you wanna go on to Ticky Top Tick, then then, yeah, awesome. So we've got you on Instagram and we've got you on Facebook for now, and
Yeah.
you'll be building on those platforms. So, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
awesome.
Well,
And
thank you very much for having me.
oh, you're welcome. I've really, really enjoyed it, and hopefully we can continue chatting off the
Definitely.
show. And yeah, I wish you well in your self employment journey. You're gonna smash it. I've got a feeling.
Thank you. I wish you well in your gym journey as well. You'll be
Thank you.
deadlifting loads in no time.
Yeah, I'll have to keep you updated on what I'm lifting.
Yeah, do.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you again, Meg, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye.
Hey, don't go yet. I just want to say a quick thank you for listening to this episode. And if you want to hear more from awesome tradeswomen, don't forget to drop me a like or a follow so you don't miss out on future episodes. See you next time on Life of a Female Tradie.